So I am, I think probably usual sort of cannon fodder for Mike, middle-aged or getting on age-wise, professional selling insurance, principally, have a role that sort of takes me sort of countrywide, shall we say. Happily married, 2 kids. Even I was a fat child and didn't really enjoy that very much. And then as I got lighter, life became more amusing for various reasons that probably don't need to be recorded. A confident, happy William, things seemed to go well. And I think probably I was have generally been on the slide. As business becomes more demanding, well, you get fat and unhealthy, basically. So I think, and so that's just been a gradual thing, probably. And as I say, I'm very sort of do a lot of hospitality with clients. So you probably eat too much, drink too much, then lockdown, etc., and it all went 100% pear-shaped. And as I say, I tend to be a confidence player, and a smaller, fitter William is a happier William, which probably leads to all sorts of excitements, whether it's working better, being a nicer person at home, having a better family life, all of the above. Actually, I think my main reason for getting in touch with Mike was around sort of my weight and stuff like that. Because I think, I've read all the books, I've done lots of different stuff, all those silly self-help books. I've done all sorts of fitness things, but actually it's turned into a whole much bigger environment than that. And I find it enormously helpful. It makes you unpack yourself and then slightly stick yourself back together on the basis that you're just probably making more rational decisions, if that makes sense. I feel a lot better for it, have a great deal more energy, a lot more structure. And I think what's been quite interesting about sort of my time with Mike is that there's been sort of various hiccups along the way. But equally, that's, life has hurdles that you have to get on with. And actually that's been, I've found very useful that through the process, the hurdles have materialized and they'll continue to materialize because that's what life is about. But actually, we've managed to sort of tread our way around it quite happily, should we say, which has been really useful. One of my main concerns, I think, was where I've done stuff before, it has not been virtual, it's all been face-to-face. And that's sort of whether it's business coaches or fitness or whatever it is, it's all been face-to-face. So I was quite daunted by doing it virtually because I thought, well, is there real value in that? And actually I probably found it easier because it's quite easier to be honest with someone that's, near Scarborough or whatever, and not sort of sitting in the room, as it were. So actually that was one of my main concerns, and I queried that quite hard with Mike before we kicked off. He is not 24/7 available, but he's normally online somewhere or other. And if he's not talking to you, then he's posting stuff or whatever. So, and actually, I'm not a great social media type person, but I've slightly enjoyed what he has put on LinkedIn. Seems to be his main sort of sphere, because actually, when you're not having some TLC from Mike, there's also content or stuff to read that's always available, as it were. So that's been good. I think probably the way he sort of unpacked it and unpacks you, with the and the various bits of homework, as I call them, that one does, which at the end of the day, all he's doing is, I guess, loading the gun. You're firing the bullets. You're working it out for yourself, which I think is quite a useful way of doing it, as opposed to parrot fashion. This is what should be, etc. So I think he's making you work out your own solutions, which I think probably makes the process, I suspect, the success rate a great deal better, because you're getting there. He's providing the framework, the all the management terms coming out, the roadmap to success, as it were, but making you do all the work. So one thing I found really, really useful is planning. If one is living by the seat of one's pants, there's less time to make sensible decisions. So I try and spend, I look forward at the sort of the coming week, as it were. So what's on the agenda, where there may be some potential areas where you could get into trouble and revert to type. And if you plan your way around it, then it's much easier not to. Obviously, weight loss has been enormously helpful, and feel a lot better for it. And particularly, as I mentioned, sleeping has been a great deal better. I have one of those silly Garmin watches that gives you a sleep score, and the sleep score is sort of on the up all the time, which is, and obviously some idiot at Garmin is just doing it on purpose. But anyway, it's helpful. I think the progress has been significant, and as I say, there has been opportunity to regress. There has been the odd hiccup, not least holidays and various dramas, as I mentioned earlier on. But they're the dramas that life throws at you. And I think one of the big things that might manage to instill in me is that one failure doesn't mean you're over, you're finished. There's always an excuse. I don't know, there's a crisis at work, or it's snowing, or the power's off, or interest rates are flying. Well, it happens. It's happening. We've just got to get on with it. So yes, there was a holiday, and yes, I did misbehave, but that wasn't, it was very easy to revert to the lifestyle that I'd left anyway when I got back. Yeah, and I think a lot of it is all emotional. So emotional eating, whatever. So you get it wrong. So that is then a massive spiral to disaster. Well, it doesn't need to be. Actually, balance is pretty key. If I speak to Mike in 4 or 5 months' time, then the process will have continued, because he's embedded those the habits going forward. And again, on the planning side of things, home life has been much better. So, historically it would just simply be work. But actually, no, I'm not going to work today or in the evening or at weekends and go and do fun things with them, because that isn't, again, what's been planned. Or, when you've got your sensible head on, you looking forward, you think, well, that would be a lovely thing to do with the children or whatever it is, then you plan to do it. Actually plan to do fun things when you get home, as opposed to the usual thing of getting home too late, probably opening a bottle, having a drink, whatever it is, and then a huge amount to eat, and then going to bed probably in a grump, and bang, off you go again the next day. Whereas actually, if you think about what you're going to do when you get home, then you are, with planning, you're taking out that dangerous window of drinking or eating or whatever it is, I think, so that's been really useful. Thank you. Enjoyed it very much. And onwards and upwards.